Hi, Rod Menzel with Great Way Roofing on top of the roof of Interconnect Systems Inc. And I'm going to give a quick evaluation of the roof. I'd like to also give some key concerns that I have for the roof, then finally wrap up with some recommendations. Overall evaluation of the roof system. It's got decent slope, it's got 4 drains, and I'm walking up to the ridge here, and this is the point where the ridge of the roof and the water is sloping down to that drain, that drain, that drain, and finally there's another drain over there. As that water slopes to the drain, it's got parapet walls with a cap sheet on a tilt-up concrete wall. And as you can see here, all this water ends up in this waterway right here. I counted several skylights, actually, pardon me, I think it's 6 skylights. And the skylights have had some repairs done, so I'm going to get a price for each skylight to replace. And these skylights are what's called self-flash skylights and not curb-mounted skylights. There's definitely a leak at this one. They're definitely ready to be replaced. Also, there's pitch pockets on the roof for the equipment screen. These pitch pockets can also become a leak source, so we're going to want to make sure we take care of those. We've got several HVAC units on the roof. Some are straight shot units where the ducting goes straight through into the roof, and some are units with ducts on them. So you can see this ducting comes through. These units can be more difficult to roof, as you can see, because you need to get underneath there to roof those. Also on the roof is a lot of conduit sitting on 2x4 blocks, and in some cases 4x4 blocks. This conduit runs to different rooftop equipment as well. Also, as you can see, the newer cap sheet versus the older cap sheet. Here's older, some repairs have been done, and newer over here. That's basically because the roof is definitely aged to the point where it needs to be replaced. I noticed there's been a repair in this corner, smaller one over there in that corner, and just kind of some random spots throughout the roof. Starting at the waterways, my key concerns for the roof system typically are at these walls. We're going to want to 3/4 the top of these walls. Water can get in here sometimes, also in some of these cracks right here. A lot of this is loose, so we're going to want to make sure we got good adhesion to the roof there. The drains, they're the next big concern. All the water ends up here, so we're going to want to make sure this area is roofed well. These are great drains. They're clamp ring drains with an overflow, so we're in really good shape there. Any wrinkles like this, we're going to want to cut out these wrinkles and either lay those flat by nailing them and 3/4ing them, or if they're really big, actually replace them with roofing material. I mentioned earlier, my next concern really lies here with these HVAC units. This platform's okay, but for me to get underneath here to properly roof, I'm going to lay down actually to do it. You can see it's a challenge. So there's likely not to be a leak there, but there's always a possibility. A lot of times what we do is we go ahead and install the roof, and if it leaks here, we come back and we address them one by one by actually having this ducting connected and taking care of it and roofing underneath properly. Or ahead of time, we could just go ahead and have an HVAC contractor come out and actually disconnect here and maybe even replace this ducting, and consider even replacing this right here, this base flashing. So there's a couple different options we can go there. So I just walked across this area, and you can see there's some slight ponding here in this area and this area. This is where the roof's going to pond. It's not a lot, but in these areas here, what I'm going to want to do is, number one, quite possibly replace the cap sheet. But whatever we do, we want to build it up slightly, not so much so that it just takes the water or the pond and displaces it to another area. But if the pond is caused because of a ridge, we want to cut that out. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and reinforce this roof with additional product. An elastomeric coating along with an additional ply of stitch-bonded polyester fabric is a great way to take care of that. On to the recommendations. I'm going to recommend a 1-ply and a 2-ply fluid applied acrylic roof system. I also want to give an option to upgrade the waterways with a fluid applied acrylic throughout, as you can see right in this area. So we're going to want to consider that. The process actually is we come in and we clean and prep the roof. And when I talk about prep, we actually 3/4 all terminations like this HVAC unit with an elastomeric caulking and a stitch-bonded polyester fabric. We do the same things to the pipes. Eventually, when the roof's done, we're going to do the same thing to the cap of this wall. We're going to add a 6-inch polyester fabric with an elastomeric caulking here, and it's going to last a long time. It's going to be very, very solid. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come in with an emulsion product. An emulsion there's no solvents in the product. It's actually a clean smelling product, and we're going to come in and we're going to pump up the emulsion material, and then we're going to embed our polyester fabric, our stitch bonded polyester fabric. At this point, you have a choice to do either a 1-ply or a 2-ply option. If you do a 2-ply option, you add an extra ply of polyester fabric and an additional 6 gallons of emulsion. Once that part has been cured, we want to wash it of any residue. Then we come on and we put a white coating on. Over here, basically, you can see what this roof looks like. That roof just had a white coating. There was no emulsion or anything else put in it. But basically, we come in and we put 3 gallons of a white coating. It cools the building down. That's a fan that's running, but air conditioning units should basically not run as early in the day when it's warm out. So it's a great system because it saves you on the cooling cost. And lastly, I'm going to go ahead and price each of these skylights individually, so we can go ahead and give you a unit price per, so you know what that's going to cost to do that. We're going to make sure that the pitch pockets at the HVAC screen, our equipment screen, are taken care of with the elastomeric caulking. Anything that's no longer being used, like this piece of wood right here, we'd want to go ahead and get it off the roof. We could possibly do the same thing with this pipe. Anything that's no longer in use, it's ideal to go ahead and get that taken care of now. So once again, Rod Menzel with Great Way Roofing. If you have any questions, please call me, 805-523-2550. Thanks and have a great day.